All right. Hell yeah, the outro. For WKRP in Cincinnati. Speaking of Willie, good morning to all fellow dirtbag leftists, pro-Julian Assange advocates, free speech absolutists, and free thinkers, rejecting sheep like conservative and liberal pearl clutching of corporate media. Indeed. Thank you, my friend. You're a wonderful person. Of course, one of our producers, Willie Bragg. You guys hear me okay? Everything good? I don't sound like the devil? Well, I probably sound like the devil. But that's neither here nor there. There's nothing I can do about that. You know, forged in the fires of Hades and coming out on top. Sounds good? We are Ronin. What's up? Hello, I love that song, right? And there's the WKRP in Cincinnati end credits theme is the legend is that there's no true words to that song, that the guy who did the song was just making gobbledygook noise, making word sounding things because he was making fun of bands that would do that, like at concert. You know, nobody's like, what the fuck that guy just say? Yeah, so I figured a little KRP in Cincinnati to get us started on what's sure to be another fun-filled week of conspiracy theories, love and hate. So here we are. I know over the weekend we had a bit of news with Trump. Yeah, so now, like I said, as per as usual in this show, we're not going to get into too much political or kind of analysis on this. I mean, we've got some stories we're going to talk about that go along with the nuts and bolts of it. But I mean, seriously, anytime you want like deep dives on this kind of stuff, just there's plenty of folks in this space who have plenty of air in their lungs to talk about this stuff. So I just want to give you the nuts and bolts because you're all critical thinkers. You can do this. You're good people. So we're going to start off things here with Trump. Trump is in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, which starts today. And so a lot of people were saying, or some folks were wondering why. Well, he's gonna postpone it, or so he said no. I think he went to New Jersey to get treatment for his ear. I don't know if that's where his personal doctor is or whatever, but anyway, he's in Milwaukee. So we're gonna check out what's going on as far as like the update with Trump. Let me make sure I got. Okay, good. All right. So this is, I mean, I'm going to be using some mainstream media sources today, but, you know, we're going to try and wade those waters and hopefully we'll get some information out of this. So this is from CNBC. The Republican National Convention begins today, and they're talking about what happened over the weekend.
Former President Trump now arriving in Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention. This, of course, a day after he was targeted in an attempted assassination. Eamon Javers joins us now this morning with more. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Andrew. We heard from President Joe Biden last night in a rare primetime address from the Oval Office. Just the third time that President Biden has given an Oval Office address. The President of the United States called for calm, he called for peace, and he called for an end to political violence. Here's what the president said last night.
Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field. I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution.
Meanwhile, the FBI updating reporters yesterday on the assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump over the weekend. The FBI saying that at this point, the investigation indicates no indication that the shooter acted in concert with anyone else. The indication is that the shooter acted alone. They're also saying they're trying to determine now if there were any co-conspirators involved in this attack on the former president of the United States. No motive has been identified on the part of the shooter here in terms of any ideology associated with the shooter. They've been scrubbing his social media. They've been accessing his family, his friends. They say they've obtained his phone, but as of yesterday, they said they had not been able to get access to that phone. They're working with a forensic team to try to crack into the phone to see if there's any evidence to be gathered there. And as you can imagine, guys, this is a massive and intensive investigation into an assassination attempt against the former president of the United States. The former president survived, but this could have gone very, very differently, and we would be having a very different conversation this morning. So a lot of questions swirling now around the security posture for this event, the Republican National Convention here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but also the security posture in Pennsylvania over the weekend. Did the Secret Service do enough? Was there a broad enough security perimeter? How did this shooter get as close as he did to the former president of the United States and manage to fire off shots at him? All of that still to be determined, guys. So a lot of questions this morning in a very tense Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Back over to you.
Okay, Eamon Javers in Milwaukee. Thank you.
And here's a look at a couple of things. Moves in the shares of Trump media this morning. It closed about 30.31 on Friday. It's bidding 46.50 this morning. That's quite a move. Indicated almost 52%. And the predicted.
Yeah, I wanted to put that tail end there. Like, Trump made money off this. No lie. Wild. So yeah. So who is the guy? Who's the person that did all this, right? A lot of speculation about the shooter. Yeah, Rick, that's right. Morning Joe didn't have a show today, saying they couldn't have a guest on that would be respectful of the situation. Guess they're afraid of getting door knocks now. Yeah, well, yeah, that's very touchy to talk about this stuff, especially when you're under the thumb of the establishment like that. So, you know, that's the beauty of shows like this. We can say whatever the fuck we want. We don't care. You know, but they can't. You know, they're stuck with it. So the shooter was Thomas Matthew Crooks. And here's this is from WTVR CBS 6. And they're going to fill us in a little bit more about who this person is that we're dealing with. If we can get this thing to work. You gonna work? There you go, buddy.
Secret Service agents swarmed former President Donald Trump and rushed him off stage after a gunman fired shots during his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
We had what we're calling an assassination attempt against our former president, Donald Trump. It's still an active crime scene.
Trump said he was shot by a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear. On his Truth social media platform, he wrote, quote, "I knew immediately that something was wrong and then I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin." A New York Times photographer captured this image of what appears to show a bullet racing by the former president's head. The FBI identified the gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. They say he fired shots from outside the secure cordoned area of the rally, atop an elevated structure.
He started shooting. Bow, 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 bow. About 4 to 5 shots rang out.
Law enforcement converged on Crooks' family's suburban Pittsburgh home overnight.
They asked us to leave our house. They told us it was a state of emergency. No warning. They just knocked on the door in the middle of the night.
Officials say the gunman fired 6 to 8 rounds from an AR-15 assault rifle before he was shot and killed by a member of the Secret Service counter-assault team. The FBI called it, quote, surprising that he was able to fire at the stage before he was killed.
We do not currently have an identified motive, although our investigators are working tirelessly to attempt to identify what that motive was.
Last night's rally in Pennsylvania was former President Trump's last before the Republican National Convention gets underway here in Milwaukee. Right now, plans are underway to expand the security perimeter around this venue. President Biden spoke with Trump Saturday evening. He condemned the attack.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick.
Trump was treated at a local hospital. He returned to his golf club in New Jersey early this morning.
All right, so he returned to his golf club in New Jersey. That's where he was. So that's why he went to New Jersey. So I'm pretty sure he had his doctor right there with him. They always do on these little trips. So this guy, Thomas Matthew Crooks, a bit of an enigma when it comes to trying to pin somebody down on ideological purposes, like, oh, the shooter was a conservative. Oh, this shooter was a left wing, Hello, Desert Mantis. Hey, let me shout out everybody before we get like too deep in the woods. We got Miguel and Desert Mantis and Rick and Choosy and Ed. And, of course, Willie Bragg. We are Ronan. Good to see you, bud. Who else is up in here? Anonymous, of course. Good to see you, Anonymous. Thank you for that reminder. My little brain just forgets stuff. Of course, Chuck UFO. Chuck the Alien. Coming to a Magic Picture Box near you in the near future. I think I got everybody there. So anyway, back to the countdown. Back to the countdown. In the rock era, so Thomas Matthew Crooks, who is this kid, right? He's hello. Okay. So he was a star student. Crooks lived with his parents in Bethel Park, located around an hour from Butler. That's where the shooting took place. He graduated from Bethel Park High School in 2022, winning a $500 Star Award from the National Math and Science Initiative, according to the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. And this is the kid right there. And apparently he was in some sort of Black Rock video or something. Crazy. In a high school yearbook photo posted online, Crooks can be seen wearing a T-shirt emblazoned with an American flag, while video footage shows him receiving his high school diploma in 2022 to scattered applause. A classmate of Crooks, 21-year-old Jason Kohler, told NBC News that Crooks was a quote, loner who was, quote, bullied so much in high school. However, another classmate, 20-year-old Michael Dujak, says that Crooks was not actively bullied, but was on his own a lot. And here we talk about the conflicting politics. So, of course, people, at first, they saw that Crooks was a registered Republican. They said, oh, well, it must have been like one of these people that just, the part of the party that hates Trump or something, or, wants to start trouble. According to Pennsylvania voter records, cited by multiple U.S. media outlets. However, he made a $15 donation to Act Blue, a liberal fundraising organization, on the day of President Joe Biden's inauguration back in 2021. According to the federal FEC records cited by the same outlets. Classmates of Crooks told NBC News that they couldn't recall Crooks being active on social media or outspoken about politics. This was Agent Kevin Rojek from the FBI said, we do not currently have an identified motive, as you heard in that other video, adding that the agency was working tirelessly to determine why the 20-year-old attempted to kill Trump. And we're going to talk about the Secret Service and their failed endeavor, too. He was and I'm, when I'm reading this stuff off, I'm not like trying to infer anything. I'm just giving you the facts of their reporter. You want to make your own decisions about this stuff. That's up to you. He was a firearms enthusiast. He used an AR-15 style rifle to carry out the attack. That's what the law enforcement sources said. According to ABC News, the semi-automatic rifle was purchased legally by Crooks' father only 6 months before the shooting. Jason Kohler, one of the classmates who spoke to NBC, said that Crooks was made fun of for wearing hunter outfits to school. At the time of the shooting, Crooks was wearing a T-shirt bearing the logo of Demolition Ranch, a popular YouTube channel featuring demonstrations of powerful firearms and explosives. And this part's fun. Shortly after the shooting, Demolition Ranch host Matt Carricker shared a photo of a Secret Service agent standing over Crooks' body on Instagram with the caption, "What the hell?" Right? How'd you? Yeah. So if you're going to do any mass shootings, don't wear any ExtraBulla shirts, okay? We don't want we got enough bad press as it is. We don't need any more, so. But probably don't do the mass shooting either, so that's probably number one. But, if you are, just don't use my shirt. Law enforcement sources told the AP that bomb-making materials were also found in Crooks' home and in a car he'd abandoned near the site of the shooting. As for his parents, Crooks' neighbors told the New York Times that the family lived on and a, quote, upper middle class street, describing his father as a, quote, libertarian and his mother as a registered Democrat. So there may be your conflicting political views. One's a little more conservative, one's a little more liberal. So, that makes sense. Contacted by CNN on Saturday, the shooter's father said that he was still trying to figure out what the hell is going on and would wait until I talked to law enforcement before speaking to the press. Good man, because, you just lost your kid. Don't know why. Probably had no idea this kid was into this kind of shit. But yeah, so how did he get away with it? There were several reports of people telling the police and security around there that there was a guy on the roof. People had video of it, I think. Maybe after the fact, after he got shot, but the Secret Service is taking a little heat today for allowing this to happen. So this is from WVTM 13 in Birmingham, Alabama. Your choice for news in Birmingham. The Secret Service is investigating how a gunman who shot and injured Trump was able to get so close, right? So they talked to this guy. He's a Secret Service guy, and he kind of gives you the lowdown of what in his mind, what he thinks what went down.
Now we want to bring in Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Bob Mayo. Bob, we understand you're speaking with a former Secret Service agent tonight.
That's right, Jeff James. He's a retired Secret Service agent. Currently, he is chief of police for Robert Morris University. He had 2 tours as being the special agent in charge at the Secret Service offices here in Pittsburgh, and also served on a Secret Service detail for former President George W. Bush. As someone with experience protecting a president, as someone with years of service and experience with the Secret Service, as you watched those moments that we all saw this evening, from your trained eye and perspective, what went through your mind as you saw what happened?
Yeah, well, first I want to make one correction. I was not the special agent in charge, but I wanted to clear that up. But what went through my mind was everything happened pretty much as it should. Those agents got around the president, they got him to his feet. They put a wall of flesh and body armor between him and whatever the threat might be. The only thing I would have liked to have seen done a little bit differently is when there was that hesitation on the stage, when the president put his fist in the air, I would have liked to have seen the agents get him off the stage and into the armored vehicles a little bit quicker than being that static target, because you never knew if this may have been the precursor in the real attack. There may have been 4 more gunmen who were going to start opening fire. And I would have rather seen them get him into the armored cars and get him out of there a little more quickly.
For those agents immediately around the president, they're moving him, they're protecting him. Other agents who are deployed across that venue, what are they doing in those moments?
Well, they're looking for any secondary attack. They're looking for the precursor for any secondary attack. And they're also looking for where that initial attack is coming from. And from everything we know, it was sighted pretty quickly. The snipers were able to neutralize the target. But again, we always treat that attack as if that is just the precursor and the real attack is still to come. So all those agents who are around, they're waiting for that real attack to still come.
Indications seem to be that the attacker may have been from a vantage point off the formal venue site. The fact that that shot apparently nicked the former president's ear, your thoughts about how close a call literally this was?
Yeah, if that bullet is 3 inches to the president's left, it hits him in the nose. That tells you that the shooter, I'm not sure exactly how far he was away, but even if it was something as short as, with a high-powered rifle, as 400 yards,
I think it was 130
the difference
yards.
Between your nose and your ear is just a gust of wind.
120.
So it seems like he probably has some kind of acumen with a high-powered rifle.
Jeff James, a retired Secret Service agent.
Yeah. We know who he is. So, let me get back here. Hello, where am I? Whoop, hi, kids. All right. So, the shooter was like 130 yards away, I think. The gunman, officials said, was killed by Secret Service, fired multiple shots at the stage from an elevated position outside of the rally venue, right? But it was within the perimeter. It was 150 meters. So it was within the perimeter of the protection of the Secret Service, right? Trump rewrote his RNC speech. That ought to be interesting. And for you newbies to this channel, don't get it twisted. Nobody's fans of Trump here. All right. We don't want to see the guy shot, but we don't like the guy either. Biden said he's directing an independent review of the security of the rally. There were rumors that they had pulled some details off of Trump for the First Lady, Jill Biden, who was doing some sort of event maybe nearby or something. I don't know, but I can't confirm that, though. But that's just some rumors. And then there was another rumor of a guy, one of the Secret Service sniper guys said he had the shot, but they told him to wait, or they didn't give him the call, and he ended up making the shot himself, and then he got fired. I don't know if that's true, but that's also, just be aware of some of these rumors that are going around. So anyway, that's my Biden. Hey, it's anyway. So our neighbors across the pond in this place called Russia, this guy Putin, who apparently Trump is a Putin pal, right? That's what they've been saying, that the Russian disinformation got, Trump elected. That's what happened. Well, this is interesting. Turns out Putin's like, meh. I'm sure it's a little bit more than that, but come on. You're going to do it. There we go. What the hell? Science is failing us once again. Kremlin, this is from RT. Kremlin addresses Trump assassination attempt. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov says the Russian leader does not plan to call the Republican presidential hopeful in the wake of the shooting. That guy looks like somebody. Who's that guy look like? Tell me in the comments. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Russian President Vladimir Putin does not intend to call Donald Trump after Saturday's attempt on the U.S. Republican presidential frontrunner's life. He added that Moscow, quote, strongly condemns any forms of political violence, unquote, and extends its condolences to the family of the spectator who was killed in the shooting. Yeah, so there was like 2 injured. I think one of them was Trump. Or it may have been 2 other people in the crowd, but somebody had father, so it seems like a real nice guy, and then you won't go out like that. That's terrible. He extends his condolences to the family of the spectator who was killed in the shooting. Several shots were fired at Trump's campaign in an apparent assassination attempt. A bullet grazed politician's right ear. We're going to talk about that in just a second. There's like some really weird shit surrounding this from 3 months ago. So speaking to reporters yesterday, Peskov stressed that the Kremlin does not believe that the Biden administration was behind Saturday's assassination attempt on Trump. He noted, however, that the, quote, atmosphere that was created by this administration during the political struggle around Trump has led to what America has faced today. He also expressed hope that the people injured in the incident would fully recover. Very nice. So Russia said not calling him, but we don't think Biden did it. And that's an interesting question, of course, too, in this atmosphere of just heavy, humid fuckery. Why wouldn't you question the narrative? Like, I would think all bets are off. In this day and age, like anything is possible. Could have been staged. I don't know. We got a little poll talking about that later. But this was floating around, and this shit is just wild. Okay. This is Steve Cioccolanti and Discovery Ministry. So this is like some religious stuff, right? I'm not here to preach the word of baby Jesus for you. But this guy, this was from 3 months ago. Actually, exactly 3 months ago. This guy, he's like some rando preacher guy. What is your deal, dude? Just listen what he has to say. This is wild.
Because the Lord told me, he said, I am not done with America. He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan. And then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And
yeah. That's wild, right? I don't know who that guy is, but oh Lord. 3 months ago. Shh, nobody's talking to you. Yeah, so I came across that, and I know. Right, Rick? Hey Bella, what's going on? Good to see you. That's spooky. So that, and I put on Twitter, I said, look, either this guy really is a prophet, because I mean, predicting the assassination attempt is one thing, right? But in that much detail, talking about whizzing by his head, clipping his ear, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, you know. Anyway, so Trump's good to go. He's ready to rock and roll with the RNC convention, and then, like we said, that's starting today in Milwaukee. Next month, the Democratic convention is going to be here in the city of the big shoulders, right? So that's going to be fun and wild. I'm sure that's not going to be violent at all. Hey, how you doing? I'm sure there's going to be a fine old time. Everybody's just going to, the police are going to be just nice to everybody, you know, give them hugs and kisses. Right? But I mean, he's a showman though, man. And you know who else are showmen? These tent preachers, these evangelical preachers, they're showmen too. I'm pretty sure Trump learned a thing or two from some of these fucking evangelical preachers there with the mega churches and stuff. So, you know, if Trump becomes evangelical after this, I don't know, because that video goes on. He's talking about how there's going to be the economy is going to collapse, and you know, there's going to be the New Madrid earthquake in the middle of the country that's going to create an inland sea. I mean, just crazy stuff. Anyway, back to the RNC convention. That, like we said, that's going on today, starting today. And this from Al Jazeera. What to know about the 2024 Republican National Convention. Trump is set to be named the Republican presidential nominee at the convention, underscoring his control over the party. And that's where it is, at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, among other venues around. They kind of do it like, you know, spread it out. It is a moment of political pomp and pageantry in the United States, unfurling near the midpoint of a presidential election year, the National Party Convention. Every 4 years, both the Republicans and Democrats hold massive televised conventions to officially nominate their candidates for president and vice president. So yeah, it opens today. 4-day event will take place in Milwaukee, in a critical battleground state, Wisconsin. Trump's expected to use the convention stage to put to rest any questions of his dominance over the party. And if after what happened over the weekend didn't unite all those Republicans, I don't know what would. Yeah, this is very much the Trump show. What can voters expect from the convention? How does the nomination process work, and what election issues will be in the spotlight? So they got a little explainer. Look at me. I got hands. I got the best blood ever. Everybody loves blood. So it's the 15th through the 18th. So Fiserv Forum, University of Wisconsin Milwaukee Panther Arena, which hosts hockey and football games. That's going to be another venue. They're expecting 50,000 people at the conference, including politicians, visitors, and media. Part of the reason is the convention's high-profile guest list, since that's why it's not open to the general public. The Republican National Convention is a place for party officials to be and be seen, and the event features several days of speakers. Yeah, you know how these things go. There'll be 2,429 delegates representing states and territories across the United States. They ultimately vote for the party's nominee for president. All right, so this is what happens at the thing. How's the nomination process work? Whatever. It's all just bullshit. Who could Trump pick for vice president? This is an interesting question. In the past, national party conventions often were the venue for revealing and sometimes even picking vice president nominees. Trump appears to be hewing closely to that tradition, though he launched his latest presidential campaign back in 2022. He has yet to make a choice for his running mate. Short list: Representative Elise Stefanik of New York, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, J.D. Vance of Ohio, Tom Cotton of Arkansas, Marco Rubio of Florida, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Yeah, so, and as you remember, the first time around, Trump's vice president was Mike Pence, also known as Ray Spannon from TV's Johnny Quest. That's an old reference, kids. Google's your friend. Other news going on around the world: North Korea is starting to bow up, as we say down south. You know, I'm gonna bow up. Why'd you flinch? Why'd you flinch? Here comes North Korea. This is from the Libertarian Institute. Kyle Anzalone. What is going on here? Come on, guys. Having some tech troubles. Not bad, but still. North Korea issues threat responding to NATO's Asian shift. So Pyongyang promised Washington and its allies they would, quote, pay an unimaginably harsh price for its increasing military presence in the Pacific. At last week's NATO summit, the bloc agreed to step up its military activity near North Korea. Signed by 32 NATO members, the statement called on the alliance to build ties with partners in the Pacific, namely Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and South Korea. The bloc went on to accuse the North of fueling Russia's war of aggression. Pyongyang reacted sharply to NATO's growing interest in the Pacific. They have been doing weapons testing in North Korea, too. They reacted sharply to NATO's growing interest in the Pacific. A North Korean statement noted that the U.S. and South Korea signed an agreement on the use of nuclear weapons for the first time during the NATO summit in Washington. And, of course, North Korea is going to be like, no, thank you. They described the agreement as provocative. In a statement carried by North Korea's state media, the defense ministry said, our enemy's nuclear threat, which is ever escalating in an offensive and frantic manner, urgently requires the DPRK to further improve its nuclear deterrent readiness. Yeah, so they're not screwing around. They're not doing that shit. And that's the thing. We have to, these provocations, they're trying to, do to Taiwan what they're doing with Ukraine, and North Korea is going to be like, well, we're not really about that. We're not about that life, as the kids say. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy has been trying to get back at Yemen, who's been launching heavy strikes against targets in that area, as you know. So this is Dave DeCamp from antiwar.com. U.S. launches heavy strikes in Yemen. Hey, Kim, good to see you. Welcome. Good morning to you. The U.S. Navy has been downing Houthi missiles and drones, but the Houthis remain undeterred. The U.S. has launched several rounds of strikes on Yemen over the past few days as its war against the Houthis in the Red Sea continues. U.S. Central Command reported fresh strikes on Houthi-controlled Yemen, which is where most of the country's population lives, on July 11th, 12th, and the 14th. Yemeni media reported the attacks each day and described them as joint U.S.-British strikes, although it's unclear if the U.K. was involved. In the latest attack yesterday, Yemen's Saba news agency reported 3 strikes in the Red Sea province of Hodeidah, Klaven. A security source told Saba that the U.S.-British aggression aircraft targeted Hodeidah International Airport, and if that's not the correct pronunciation, I do apologize, with 2 raids, and launched a raid on the Bessi area of Al-Luhaya district. And I read over these too. These are not easy words to say. There's no indication if there were casualties in the 3 days of U.S. strikes on Yemen. CENTCOM typically claims that its strikes destroy Houthi drones or some other type of military equipment that it deems a threat. According to the Yemen Data Project, joint U.S.-British airstrikes killed 16 Yemeni civilians on May 30th. Yeah, so Yemen takes a licking, but keeps on ticking. Was it? Oh, never mind. But the fuckery does continue in Israel. And the Yemen, of course, doing these attacks for the benefit of the Palestinian people, not letting supplies and stuff go through to Israel is one of the reasons they're helping their brothers and sisters in Palestine for that. Meanwhile, Bibi, he says he doesn't know if airstrikes on Gaza's safe zone killed the Hamas military commander that they wanted, of course, because they just shoot to kill. They don't care. Dave DeCamp, again, antiwar.com. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has admitted he doesn't know if an Israeli bombing of a tent camp the Israeli military declared a safe zone, quote, killed Mohammed Deif, Hamas's senior military commander. Gaza's health ministry said the strike on the al-Mawasi camp killed at least 90 Palestinians, more than half of them being women and children. The Israeli Defense Forces had told Palestinian civilians evacuating from Rafah and Khan Yunis to take shelter in the camp, which had come under multiple Israeli attacks. And for those of you not following this story, it's just the Israeli version of whack-a-mole, only they know where the mole's coming up because they're sending the mole to that place. They're herding these people to safe places, and then they're bombing these safe places. Israeli officials said the IDF dropped 5 2,000-pound bombs on a compound in the camp. Bingo, Rick. You know that's right. The IDF claimed it targeted deep in Rafah's Salameh, the commander of Hamas's Khan Yunis brigade. Hamas has denied the claim, saying it was just an excuse to justify the massacre. Of course, that's why they bomb hospitals. And I mean, look at this. Come on. On Saturday night, Netanyahu said he wasn't, quote, absolutely certain if they were killed, but said the bombing of the camp was good for Israel either way. And that's why I don't really like doing these Israeli stories like this. I'm not against covering it, don't get me wrong. It's just I don't like personally talking about these things because it is just horrifying what's going on over there. And I know that's an opinion, but I'm sorry. Genocide is horrible. I mean, if you don't know what genocide means, go look it up. Don't look in the dictionary. They've been changing definitions of shit lately, like, vaccines. Anyway. But just trust me, genocide bad, and these are motherfuckers, okay? And of course, the world's going to react to Israel's attack in al-Mawasi. Again, from Al Jazeera. So why are you doing that? There is just craziness afoot. Shocking and brutal massacre world reacts to Israel's al-Mawasi attacks, right? The United Nations and countries across the Middle East have denounced Israel and, after its military attacked a designated humanitarian safe zone in Gaza. Photos and videos verified by Al Jazeera's Sanad agency showed Palestinians sifting through debris and what appears to be remnants of tents. Yeah, they bombed tents at the location of the attacks. Jordan, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, condemned the attack on displaced persons tents in Khan Yunis, south of the Gaza Strip, in an area that Israel had previously classified as safe, which resulted in the death and injury of dozens of Palestinians, unquote. Their spokesman said Jordan called for the international community to act to bring an end to Palestinian suffering amid Israel's repeated violations of international law. Although Jordan's kind of a cuck to the United States, too, so, you know, we'll see where that goes. Another cuck, Egypt. In a statement, Egypt's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Israel's ongoing violations against the rights of Palestinian citizens add serious complications to achieving a ceasefire deal. Egypt has been among the countries working to mediate such an agreement between Israel and Hamas. We condemn in the strongest terms the Israeli raids on the al-Mawasi area, the foreign ministry said. In Qatar, Doha has also been working as a mediator in the ceasefire negotiations. On Saturday, it called for the shocking and brutal massacre at al-Mawasi, a new chapter in the ongoing series of crimes committed by Israel and the Palestinians. So, yeah. And just like anything else, you have to, pressure makes diamonds. You have to keep pressure not only there, of course, but here in America, where we're, you know, partners to the propaganda that have kept these people down for, you know, over 3/4 of a century. So yeah, that was from Al Jazeera. And back to Bibi. Of course, Bibi not through fucking over a deal for people here. So this is Dave DeCamp, the hardest working man in independent media. Netanyahu reverses key Israeli concession made in ceasefire negotiations. Israel previously agreed on unrestricted access to North Gaza, but Netanyahu now wants armed men to be prohibited from returning to the north. He reversed a key concession made by Israel during the ceasefire negotiations. Israeli source familiar with the talks said that Israel had previously agreed to allow Palestinians to have unrestricted access to North Gaza during any potential ceasefire. But last week, Netanyahu told his negotiators to add the condition that armed men aren't allowed to enter the north. Netanyahu included a similar condition in a list of non-negotiable demands he issued last Sunday, which were just ridiculous. I think we covered those. There will be no return of thousands of armed terrorists to the northern Gaza Strip, Bibi said. The CNN report said Netanyahu's new demand could potentially upend the negotiations. The Israeli leader has made other demands aimed at sabotaging the chances of the deal. And he doesn't want a deal. Everybody knows that. Those of you been following the story, not just here, but other sources too, they've been telling you the same thing, that this is not about winning. This is about destroying a people and wiping out their culture, wiping them from the face of the earth so they can put nice little beach houses on the river and the sea, because they're fucking psychopaths. All right, so that's the news roundup. We're gonna get to when are we really? Wow, damn, it's almost top of the hour. We're gonna get to our propaganda watch. I didn't think this was gonna be like a normal thing. I mean, I'm assuming propaganda is always permeating the existence, but I think this is going to be a thing. So I did a poll on Twitter about Trump, and whether people thought it was staged or not. And here on YouTube, let me, it says like 78% of you who voted, 9 votes, said it was legit, and 22% of you said it was staged. And meanwhile, over here on the tweeters, when I did my poll, what the fuck? You know I told you to do that, fool? What the hell? Anyway, let me go here. So it was a little bit more 50-50 a while ago. So this is 34 votes. I'm going to keep this up for the rest of the day. So about 2/3, almost 2/3 think that he was legitimately, like this guy was a lone nut. And acted alone. And you know what? I mean, if we're talking about our opinions on this, you know, which I think we should be talking about all kinds of situations, the fuckery is afoot. We don't know what happened for sure, who was involved. There was, like I said, there were people who said they saw the guy on the roof and they were telling the cops, and then nobody did anything until the shots started ringing out. So, you know, you're going to have your suspicions about the motives for this kind of thing, right? I said, who benefits the most by trying to take Trump out? Obviously, it would probably be Joe Biden, right? Because who would rise in the ranks? Would it be Ron DeSantis? Would it be, what's her name, Nikki Haley? I mean, either one of them they have about the charisma of a can of peas. I don't, you know, the only way they would win just out of, if the Democratic Party somehow just united overnight and did the same thing they did to Bernie back in 2016 and 2020, but I don't see that happening. I wouldn't have seen that. I don't know. To be honest with you, I think there's going to be more information that comes out. There's going to be some people behind the scenes who are going to that are going to kind of come forward and say, hey, look, this happened January 6th. This happened 9/11. All these big events like that. There's going to be truth that's coming out. So stay frosty, stay sharp, kids, because fuckery's afoot. Like we said, the DNC convention is going to be next month here in Chi-Town. But is Joe B going to be the guy? One would think yes. If they stick with Joe, he's just going to deteriorate further, right? Because I'm pretty sure right now he's on all the drugs. You know what I mean? Like all of them. Like you go look in your cabinet, your medicine cabinet right now, your medicine's gone. All those drugs are gone. They came and got them last night for Joe B, right? But who waits in the wings for the Democrats? Oh, you know who. Oh, sweet. This is from U.S. News and World Report. Commentary. I thought this was fun. I thought you'd enjoy this in the propaganda update. Is Kamala Harris the worst thing that could happen to America? Yeah, I don't know about the worst, but it sure as fuck ain't the best. So, but this is just sweet. It's just dripping with propaganda honey. That's just delicious. Vice President Kamala Harris running for or becoming president is the single worst thing that could happen to the United States. If you believe Donald Trump. Just last week, and you know, pretty much of Trump, whatever Trump says now, folks will believe him because of, you know, religious shit. And don't even get me started on that. Just last week, Trump criticized her poor performance in the 2019 Democratic primaries and accused her of covering up President Joe Biden's health issues. He's even been test running insulting new nicknames for her, including cackling co-pilot and laughing Kamala Harris. Laughing, I guess it doesn't really pop. I mean, cackling co-pilot, you know, at least that's got some alliteration. Carolyn Leavitt, a spokesperson for the Trump campaign, recently characterized Harris as the, quote, worst vice president in history. Former Republican candidate for president Nikki Haley has said that the idea of Harris becoming president, quote, should send chills up everyone's spine, and not in a sexy good way. Even Democrats have questioned Harris's abilities. An unnamed Michigan Democrat quoted in a February New Yorker article cited her disastrous 2019 campaign where she didn't win a single delegate in her home state. And now she's a heartbeat away from being the president. When asked about Harris remaining as VP when Biden ran again, Senator Elizabeth Warren was lukewarm about Harris, but moments after enthusiastically supporting Biden. Early in Biden's presidency, criticism of Harris from Republicans was bad enough that the White House press secretary issued a statement calling Harris a vital partner and a bold leader. Right? So there she is. She's that nice lady with the cackle. She's cackling. You're like, man, why you make fun of people, man? Why you hammer this lady like that? I'm like, well, I should just show you, because yeah, let me just show you.
We must together work together, which is why we will work together and continue to work together.
So Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country.
So I will say what I know we all say, and I will say over and over again. Space, it affects us all. And it connects us all. I just love the idea of exploring the unknown.
I have a motto. I eat and drink no for breakfast.
A mother who pays a coyote to pay a coyote pays a coyote.
Often through a caravan with a coyote even.
To see where we are headed, where we are going, and our vision for where we should be. To address these issues, to tackle these challenges, and to work together as we continue to work.
The Russian bots started taking that.
Really?
Yes. You feel like you're being targeted by Russian bots now?
Well, we already know we are. But also see it as a moment, yes, to together address the challenges and to work on the opportunities.
Space is exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. It's very exciting. But it's not that fucking exciting. I know, right? Coyote. Like a koi pond. I know, right? I think our speechwriters are very simplistic AI that knows like very basic language, almost like caveman language. There you go. Wine Mom 2024. Baby. She is, you know, she's kind of a wine mom, you know. Very cackly. All right. Sad news over the weekend, but you know, we're gonna end it with a little happy stuff. So this is kind of like a generational thing. Four famous people over the weekend died. So let's start with the latest. That would be this nice person here. For you feet ballers and all you sports ballers, this is for you. This is from click2houston.com. Former Texans Ravens wideout receiver, Super Bowl standout Jacoby Jones dies. He was 40 years old. He, former Texans wide receiver and third-round draft pick from Lane College, emerged as a record-setting Super Bowl standout as a kickoff returner for the Baltimore Ravens. He died overnight in his sleep at his home. No cause of death was immediately announced. Jones was 40 years old. He's survived by his mother, Emily, and his son, Jacoby. So that was him. And that was from the 2000s. So from the 90s, Shannon Doherty, star of Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed, dead at the age of 53. Devoted daughter, sister, aunt, and friend. She was, but she died of breast cancer. She was first diagnosed back in 2015. 53 years old. I thought she was way younger than that. And this is from her publicist saying, "It's heavy heart. I confirm the passing of actress Shannon Doherty on Saturday, July 13th. She lost her battle with cancer after many years of fighting the disease." Yeah, so, I mean, she's kind of known for being like a diva type person in Hollywood. But, you know, anybody that pisses off Alyssa Milano can't be all bad, right? Going to the 80s. Dr. Ruth. What the hell? You may not know who Dr. Ruth is, you young pups out there. Dr. Ruth, back in the 80s and 90s, she was like this little old, like this German or Austrian lady. I think she was. And she was a sex therapist, and she became very popular on the radio, had a TV show, and was just like this pop icon in the 80s, right? Everybody was talking about Dr. Ruth and the good sex, the books that she wrote. Hello, where did you float in from? I'm trying to see. She was 96, so I'm assuming it was natural causes. Hey, good sex make you live to 96. Rock and roll hoochie coo, right? It was with immense personal sorrow that I announced the passing of the iconic Dr. Ruth K. Westheimer at the age of 96, whose Minister of Communications I've been since 1981. This was publicist Pierre Lihu, they said in a statement to ABC News. Let's see. So she died peacefully at her home in New York City on the 12th, surrounded by her family, just over a month after celebrating her 96th birthday. So you got to 96. Oh, she's a German-American therapist born Carola Ruth Siegel in the village of Weissenfeld, now Karlstadt, Main, Germany. Oh, okay. In 1928. The only child of Orthodox Jewish parents, she was sent by her family to a Swiss orphanage to escape the Nazis. She later learned her parents died in the Holocaust. Yeah, Dr. Ruth, icon from way back. And of course, another icon from going to the 70s, Richard Simmons. I don't know. I always liked Richard Simmons. Dr. Ruth was a sniper for Israel. She wasn't Israeli. She may have been a sniper for, I don't know. But Richard Simmons, he who believed fitness is for everyone, he passed away at 76 years old. So back in the 70s, he was all over the place, right? He had sweating to the oldies in the 80s, but like in the 70s, he'd be like on the Love Boat. I think he was on General Hospital like a whole bunch of times. And he was just a fitness guy. He wasn't an actor. He was just so charismatic and so energetic that they said, "Hey, fuck it, let's put him on TV." They put everybody on TV back in the 70s. Man, people were drinking and smoking on game shows. God, I want to bring that back. I want to bring back game shows where people are just like they're drinking back like, fucking scotch. Fuck yeah, man. He was instantly recognizable in his short shorts, sparkly tank tops, and frizzy hair. He was one of the most original, flamboyant, and beloved fitness personalities of the last 50 years. He died in his home in Los Angeles on Saturday. He was 76. The LA Police Department spokesman told NPR that police conducted a death investigation at an address in the Hollywood Hills. NPR used public records to match the address to the house owned by Simmons. Police did not give a cause of death, but said no foul play was suspected. Simmons created a fitness empire beginning in the 70s that included videos, classes, books, products, infomercials, his own show, and plenty of TV appearances, like we said. So, the Death Watch. Over the weekend, man. Yeah, it was just a wild weekend with the Trump shit and all these people dying like that. It's just terrible. But we're okay, guys. Because we're going to end this on a fun note, right? So, in life, when life gives you lemons, first off, you say, "Hey, life, where the fuck did you get these lemons? They fell off a truck, don't take them." But if they're legit lemons, make some lemonade, right? So Trump, that's what he did. he took the situation where he was injured and turned it into a positive. So, so let's check in on old Trumpy. See, this is how it was started, right? With the bloody ear and the stuff like that and the little stuff things, right? Delicious. And then all of a sudden, oh, look at that. Look, he's got engaged, man. He's ready to go. He's ready to rock and roll, man. He's ready for the party scene tonight. You know what I'm saying? That thing. You like that? That's nice. Woo! We've gone way too long. But we had a lot of shit to talk about today. So to get the news to you, we did that. Hopefully everybody got informed. That's the whole goal here, folks. Also want to make some shout outs. We got some shows tonight. Our buddy Willie Bragg is going to be on 7:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube there, Willie. So he's probably asleep now, but he's going to be on 7:30 tonight with his show. He had a pretty good he had a pretty good show yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and he was talking, or maybe the day before, he was talking about what was going on with Trump. So yeah, check him out tonight. And of course, Around the World, D and Friends, 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube as well. So that's going to do it for us today. I want to thank each and every one of y'all that decided to stick around, not just today, but in general. Appreciate all of you. The show grows, it grows with you. So old school over on Rumble. What's up? I got in the best shape of my life exercising with Richard Simmons. I watched him on television. He was impressive. You know, him and Jack LaLanne. Jack LaLanne, the guy he was like 90 back in the 50s, and all he was doing was like drinking tomato juice and powdered celery, and like he was pulling like boats and shit like that. Jack LaLanne, man. That guy, all he did was just juicing. That was his whole thing, was juicing. He probably was juicing though. A little, maybe some of that juicing. Probably not. I don't want to disparage the man's name. He was. Jack LaLanne was a monster. Well, he like pulled a boat or something with his teeth across the Gulf of Mexico. I don't know. Some wild, crazy shit that guy did. The 70s were buck wild. Google it, folks. You know, Evel Knievel, Studio 54. Just look all up that shit. It's just buck wild. All right, that's going to be it for me. I love all of yous. I may not like all yous, but I love all yous because, you know, that's the way I roll. We're going to be back on Wednesday morning. Probably talking more about the Republican convention, see if anything fruitful came out of that as far as like something to talk about. Otherwise, you know, as always, electoral politics is bullshit. And the Ramones, don't forget the Ramones. That's right. Can never forget the Ramones. Stay vigilant, stay frosty, stay skeptical. Don't be a cultist, and use your critical thinking skills. You got them. That's why we don't like try and tell you baby step everything here. You don't need my bloated opinion on shit. You just want the news. That's what you're here for, and some funsies. You know, I think some of you are here thinking, when's he going to start talking about butt plugs again? Wasn't that his thing? Anyway, I probably shouldn't say that. Love you too. Later to all. See you Wednesday. Peace. Smell you later. You know the drill. Wash your ass.
This is SETI Alpha 5.
Woo!
Damn good song, wasn't it, dog? You like that song? All right.